10 exercises to help you restore your balance. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 exercises that can help you regain and restore your sense of balance. Start with the first exercise, which is the easiest, and work your way up. When you can do the first exercise well, then you're ready to do the next exercise. You want to put your feet in the heel to toe position. That's where the foot that's in front has the heel touching the toe of the foot that's behind. Then you want to let go of the countertop and try to balance yourself and stand without holding for as long as possible. The goal of this exercise is to stand with the right leg forward for 20 seconds 3 times in a row without holding on, and then do the same thing on the left leg, 20 seconds 3 times in a row without holding on. Now when you first start, you might find that you're grabbing the countertop pretty quickly. It might just be 1 or 2 seconds before you have to grab onto the countertop to steady yourself. Don't give up. A lot of people take a long time and a lot of practice of this before they get better. You might have to practice this for weeks before you can build up to even 10 seconds without holding on. So every time you grab back on the countertop, you just want to switch which leg is forward. To do this exercise, you want to be standing and holding onto the countertop. And what you're going to do is raise up like you're raising up onto your toes. Some people call it raising on their tippy toes. You want to rise up, stand on your toes for 1 or 2 seconds, and then come back down to the ground. You want to repeat this 10 times in a row. So the goal of this exercise is to be able to do it 3 sets of 10 reps. That means doing it 10 times, then pausing for about a minute, then doing it 10 more times, then pausing for a minute and doing it 10 times. 3 sets of 10. But it's perfectly fine when you begin this exercise just to do a few repetitions. A lot of people are going to try this and find that they can only go up and down maybe 1 or 2 times. That's fine. Do 3 sets of 1 or 2 times. What you want to try to do is build up. Each time you do the exercise, try to do 1 more repetition or 2 more repetitions. The goal is 3 sets of 10, but it may take you a few weeks to reach that goal. With both hands on the countertop, you want to shift your weight over one leg, lifting the other leg off the ground, and then try to let go of the countertop, balancing for as long as you can. So you want to do the right leg and then shift over to the left leg. You keep repeating it. The goal of this exercise is to do it for 20 seconds on each leg 3 times in a row. So that means standing on the right leg for 20 seconds, repeating that 3 times without holding the countertop, and then do it on the left leg 3 times for 20 seconds without holding the countertop. In the beginning, you're going to be holding the countertop quite a bit. In fact, most people when they do this exercise find that they can only stand for 1 second, maybe not even a full second, before they have to grab back on. Don't let that discourage you. Most people have trouble with this exercise. The reason they have trouble is because they're not fully shifting their weight over the leg they're standing on. If you find that you can't do this for even 1 second, I'm almost positive it's because you're not shifting your weight. So what you want to do is grab the countertop with both hands and fully shift your weight over one leg. You should feel balanced when you do this. When you fully shift, you're going to get to a place where you feel that it's a little bit easier to stand there. That's when you want to let go of the countertop and try to maintain that position. With both hands on a countertop, you want to simply step to the side. It's almost as if you're lifting your legs off the ground, as if you're stepping over something, but you're not stepping over anything. You're just moving your legs to the side. You want to keep repeating this with you holding the countertop. The goal of this exercise is to do this 3 times to the right and 3 times to the left without holding on. But in the beginning, you're going to be holding onto the countertop a lot. The first few times you do it, you might just be sliding your hands along the countertop. But over time, as your balance gets better and you get more confident, you want to start to let go of the countertop, working towards the goal of not holding on at all. It's always advisable when you do this exercise to keep your hands over the countertop just in case you lose your balance. To do pillow squats, you need a sturdy and safe chair. If it has armrests, that makes it even easier, but it doesn't have to. You also need 1 or 2 pillows. If you find that you're very weak and standing up from a chair is extremely difficult for you without holding onto the chair, I suggest starting with 2 pillows. The way you want to do the exercise is without holding on, try to stand up and sit back down on the pillows. You don't want to do this too quickly, and you don't want to bounce when you come down. So you want to stand up and then sit down gently on the pillows. The goal of this exercise is to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions, resting about 1 minute between each set. A lot of people are not going to be able to do this exercise without pushing with their hands, and that's fine. In the beginning, it's fine if you have to push your hands on the seat of the chair or on the armrest to help yourself stand up. What's important is that over time, you use your hands less and less. Over time, the goal is to do this without holding on at all. You can even cross your hands over your chest to keep you from using your hands on the armrests. What's really important is trying to do this for 3 sets of 10 repetitions. To do heel to toe walking, you want to have 1 hand on a countertop. Then you're going to walk heel to toe, which means walk so that the heel of the foot that's forward touches the toe of the foot that's behind. So it looks like you're walking on a tightrope. Now, some people find that it's easier to have a tape line or some kind of mark on the ground to walk along to help them walk heel to toe, but you don't have to have that. You can simply walk with your heel of the forward foot touching the toe of the backward foot. The goal of this exercise is to walk 3 to 4 steps in each direction without holding the countertop, repeating that 3 times. So walking heel to toe in one direction, 3 steps, turn around the other direction, repeating that process 3 times without holding the countertop. Now in the beginning, you're probably going to be holding the countertop the entire time, and that's fine. That's how we regain our balance. We challenge ourselves. What you want to do is, after you get some confidence, is start to let go of the countertop occasionally. Then try to let go of the countertop more and more. Maybe as you take each step, try to let go and only grab on if you lose your balance. You need to struggle to do this without holding the countertop at all, but you have to progress to that. So it's perfectly fine if you touch the countertop in the beginning, but the more you practice it, the more you should be letting go. With 1 hand on the countertop, you're simply going to walk backwards. This just means walking like you normally do forward, 1 foot in front of the other, but you're only going to be moving backwards. You should only go 2 to 3 steps because you don't want to get away from your countertop. After you go 2 to 3 steps, you're going to turn around and walk in the other direction 2 to 3 steps with your hand on the countertop. Now the goal of this exercise is to walk 2 to 3 steps in both directions, repeating that 3 times without holding the countertop. But in the beginning, you're going to find that you're going to have to grab the countertop every so often. In fact, the first few times you do this, you may be holding the countertop the entire time. Over time, your balance will get better and you can let go of the countertop more and more. You want to work towards the goal of being able to let go of the countertop the entire time that you're walking backwards. To do tapping on a step safely, you're going to need 2 things. One is you need something to tap. It could be a piece of tape on the floor, or it could be an aerobic step or anything that is easy for you to tap. The other thing is you're going to need 1 or 2 things to hold on to. You can use the back of 2 chairs. You can use a countertop in a chair. I recommend having something on your right and your left when you do this exercise. Now to do the exercise, you want to tap your foot forward onto the object, just tapping your foot. So tap your right foot, then tap your left foot. You're not putting any pressure on the thing you're tapping onto. So you're just standing, lifting one leg off the ground, bringing it forward, tapping it, then putting that foot down and going on to the other leg. So you're going to go right leg tap, left leg tap, right leg tap, left leg tap. The goal of this exercise is to do it 20 times on each leg without holding on. But in the beginning, you're going to need to hold on. You might find that you're losing your balance the entire time. That's okay. Hold on if you need to the first few times that you do it. But what you want to try to do is let go when you're doing the tap. This exercise is not really beneficial if you're holding on the whole time because you're not going to shift your weight. The purpose of these exercises is to teach you to shift your weight over the leg you're standing on. That's going to help your walking and improve your balance. So you want to be letting go while you're shifting to the right and tapping your left foot, letting go while you're shifting to the left and tapping your right foot. But it's okay if occasionally you grab onto the chairs to steady yourself. You don't want to fall while you're doing this exercise. What you want to do is just simply step forward over that object. Then, once you get both feet over, you want to step backwards over the object. You want to just keep repeating this. I recommend doing this for about 5 minutes, 1 to 2 times a day to see an improvement. When you're doing it, you want to make sure that your feet are getting completely over the object. Try not to touch the object. Try not to drag your feet on it. You want to step cleanly over it. Now, as you get better, you can start to let go of whatever you're holding on to and just keep your hand there for safety. Your goal is to be able to do this 20 times forward and backwards. So that means stepping forward and then backwards over this object 20 times without holding on. Now, to do this exercise, you're going to need 2 things. One is a step, and the other is something to hold on to that's sturdy. I'm using an aerobic step and a countertop. But if you want, you can use a stair in your home as long as there's a rail next to the stairs for you to grab onto. What you want to do is stand on the step facing down. Then you want to step forward with one leg, putting your foot on the ground, and then bringing the other leg onto the ground. So you're stepping down onto the right leg first, then backward step back up onto the step with the same leg. So step down with the right, and then step backwards up on the right. Your goal with this exercise is to repeat it 10 times on each leg. So 10 times you're going to step down on the right leg and back up, and then 10 times on the left leg, down and up. You want to do this as a goal without holding on. But in the beginning, this is a difficult exercise. It's especially hard to step backwards up onto a step. It takes a lot of strength. So it's fine to grab onto the rail when you practice it. It's also important, if you're struggling, to use the lowest step possible. For some people, 3 inches is the most they can step up without having too much trouble or without having to grab onto the rail. It's better to do this on a lower step in the beginning so that you can do it repeatedly as you build your strength. Then as you get stronger, you can progress to a taller step. The goal again is to use a 6-inch step and be able to step up and down 10 times with each leg leading. Start with the first exercise, which is the easiest, and work your way up. When you can do the first exercise well, then you're ready to do the next exercise. People that are watching this video are only going to do the first 1 or 2 the first day. Then they're going to stop. The next day when they do the exercises again, they'll progress to the next one. It probably will take most people 1 to 2 months of practicing this twice a day, every day, to be able to do all 10 exercises. You don't want to try to do all of these. For most people that are having trouble with their balance, it would be very discouraging and it really wouldn't be beneficial. The way you want to do this is to only move on to the next exercise when you've mastered the first exercise. So now you've seen 10 exercises that can definitely help you improve your balance. But let me explain more how these work. As I mentioned, balance is a skill. We learn it and we can improve it, and we can also lose the skill. If you don't practice your balance, it definitely gets worse. The reason that Balance Challenge works is because it forces you to balance and struggle to maintain your balance. Maybe you're asking, what is balance? Balance is your ability to maintain your center of gravity within your body no matter what's happening. So normally when you're standing up straight, your center of gravity goes directly through the center of your body. Anything that pushes you, if someone comes along and shoves you, for a brief moment, your center of gravity is outside of your body. And you have to struggle to bring the center of gravity back into your center. When the center of gravity is in the center of your body, that's when you feel balanced. So anything that pushes your center of gravity outside your center, that's a balance challenge. So the more it pushes your center of gravity away from the center of your body, that's a greater balance challenge. And the less is a lesser balance challenge. What studies have shown is that the harder the balance challenge, the more your center of gravity is pushed outside of your body, the better your balance gets. So you can make a direct relationship to how hard something is to how much it'll actually improve your balance. So when you're doing the exercises that I just showed you, keep that in mind, that the more that you're struggling to maintain your balance, that's what gets your balance better. Remember that balance is a skill. It's a motor skill. You can think of it like a program. Your brain has a program for standing on one leg, for walking backwards, for stepping sideways. Now, if you haven't been practicing those things, your program gets rusty. It's not as well used. It doesn't work as well. So by practicing these exercises, that not only makes your balance better, but it makes these balance programs better. But the other thing is, these exercises can improve your proprioception. Proprioception is the awareness of where your body is in space. It's the knowledge of where your arms and legs are without looking at them, but it's also the knowledge of where your whole body is in space. You can't feel balanced and you can't have coordinated movement without good proprioception. And we know that as people get older and they stop practicing things, not only does their balance get worse, but their proprioception gets worse. So doing these exercises that challenge your balance, they will also improve your proprioception, your awareness of where your body is in space. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.